Hello, I'm Forrest and I've got a problem. Done about 35 takes of this first part, so this is the last one. I don't care how badly this goes. We're using this one. Um, why is it so tough? Podcast all the time. Act like I'm trying to win an Oscar here or something. Emmy, Oscar. I don't know what you'd win for a podcast. Are there awards? Anyways, I'm starting a new podcast. Woohoo! That's just what the world needs. But I don't care. I'm doing this for myself. This is for myself. I'm being selfish. I just want, for those of you who don't know me, let me just back up here. I'm a comedian, I'm a writer, but I'm also a gambling addict. And gambling has fucked up my life or affected my life for a large portion of it. Been in and out of 12-step meetings and gambling or addiction counselors and stuff like that. And I've gone long stretches without gambling. And I've gone very short stretches without gambling. But addiction has always been a part of my life. And so I decided I wanted to start a podcast about addiction, a humorous podcast about addiction. Have fun with it. I guess that's the wrong word. I want to bring humor to addiction because I think that laughter is good at putting people at ease. It's a good mechanism to cut tension. And I think it can be therapeutic. And by the way, I just want to make this clear right off the bat too. This podcast is for everybody. You don't have to be an addict to listen to this podcast. And I'm not going to just be talking about gambling too. Be talking about all addictions. And I'm not always going to be talking about addictions too. I mean, I'm going to be talking to a lot of my comedian friends. So we might go down, one rabbit hole or alley or whatever, but we'll always bring it back. That's going to be the main focus is addiction. So this podcast is about all addictions. It is for all addicts. It is for all the families and friends affected by addicts. And if you don't fit into any of those boxes, it's for you too. This podcast is for everybody. I also want to make it clear, this is not a substitute for therapy, counseling, treatment centers, 12-step meetings, or anything else that might help you in your recovery. It's just a place to come to listen to me and other people be open and honest about addiction. And if it helps you deal with whatever you're going through, then great. It's just another piece of the puzzle because everybody's journey is different. So just make that clear as well. I'm not an expert. I mean, I am technically an expert in being a gambling addict, but I'm not a an addiction therapist or an addiction counselor. But I do talk about addiction on stage. I have many jokes about gambling, being a gambling addict. And so people after the show would walk up to me and be like, thanks for talking about that. Or they'd reach out to me on social media or email or whatever. And, hey, can I ask you a few questions? Or I'm going through this. Do you have any suggestions or et cetera? So I just decided, you know what? Let's put this another thing on the list of shit I got to do each week. No, I'm actually going to enjoy this. This is coming from a place of selfishness. I think it'd be cathartic for me to do this. I can also have an excuse to talk to one of my friends each week. And maybe it helps people. If it does, great. Yeah. I think it'll be cathartic for me because right now I just talked to my dog, Arnie, who's famous. If you know me from other podcasts, like I don't know about that podcast I used to do with Jim Jeffries, and you guys know Arnie, my dog. So he gets the bulk of the shit I talk about now. So anyways, I don't want to keep this intro going. I've already talked long enough. I don't want to make this droning on and on about what the podcast is going to be. Who gives a shit? Just do it. We're here. We'll get it. We're not dumb. So let's get to the first guest. My first guest, I'm really happy to have on is Al Jackson. He's probably one of the first people I met doing comedy. And I've seen him from when he used to be drinking to excess to being a sober participant in life, I guess is the wrong. What a corny thing this is. It's not what I wanted to say. I couldn't think of the fucking word. And then I just said some sort of fucking trope I've heard before. Participant of life. Can someone please just come kill me right now? I could edit that out. I'm not going to edit that out. I said this is the last take I'm doing for this intro, and that's it. I'm just happy that you're here. If you've decided to listen to this podcast, give it a chance. Get to the interview. It's fun. I've already recorded the interview, so I know it's fun. I recorded it and I watched and I saw there was a reflection in my glasses the whole time. And I got to figure out some way to be able to read without having a reflection for the podcast. I just turned this down so I think you can see my eyes now. I don't know. We'll get it. This is episode 1. I'm producing this myself. All right. Thanks for being here. I love all you guys that have tuned in and are subscribing. And I think, what's going on here? Yeah, we're ready. All right. Let's talk to Al. All right. I'm here with Al Jackson, comedian. I had like a bio here for you, but comedian, television show host, and probably my first comedy friend. Is that correct?
I wouldn't call us friends now, but back then, yeah.
Why would I even be asking you if you're my first comedy friend? I think
I wrote it down.
And I was looking up stuff to other stuff and ways to introduce you, and then I remembered that you used to use my my iMac. Remember those big iMacs that were just like a television? Or like everything's in this. Like that was really good. And you used to write stuff on there, and I found Al Jackson's biography from way back in the day. Do you want to hear it, Al?
Did you really? Is this for real?
You wrote this. This is your biography that you wrote for comedy. For comedy.
Have to hear it.
Okay.
Wait, what year is this roughly?
I probably like 2007 or 8 or 9, somewhere around there.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. Well, it says 2008, 2009, I'd say. After spending several years as a 7th grade public school teacher, Al Jackson decided he was ready to pursue his dream of performing comedy. Jackson delivers his edgy, hard-nosed comedy with a laid-back swagger and a giant smile. Hard-nosed. If you want to go see Al Jackson, if you want some hard-nosed comedy, but with like a laid-back swagger.
I don't think anybody would describe my comedy as hard-nosed. Where did that? Because I've had that bio pop up and appear. Anybody that's been in the business knows that, like, not only do you have bios that pop up out of nowhere, bro, to this day, like last week, my girl is just like, look at the picture that this website is using for you. And it is I did a comedy festival in Indiana probably 16 or 17 years ago. Yeah. And part of the package was they gave you free headshots. And those headshots, they keep coming up. I don't know where people are getting them. I don't know how to stop them. They are just out there. They're not bad pictures. It's just like me. I just look like a guy that runs a bartending school. And because my arms are folded, like, are you ready to learn the ABCs of bartending? It's just, and I can't stop it. I've taken professional headshots. I've taken professional headshots in a news studio and real, and it just, the bios that you write early, make sure they're good because they're going to follow you for the rest of your career.
Yeah, I famously, I had, when I first started, it was an ex-boyfriend of my mom's who was a photographer. He came to me and said, you're going to need headshots. Let's get headshots. I'm like, I can't even tell a joke yet. He's like, trust me, you're going to need headshots. So let's just do them. And I'm not good at taking pictures. And like, that was clear to him, like about 5 minutes into the shoot. He's like, loosen up. I'm like, I am smiling. I am loosen, And he gave me a dummy, like a ventriloquist dummy that had the jaw dislocated for some reason. And he said, just hold on to this. And it did make me laugh and kind of loosen up, and be stupid with it. But he took a couple of those pictures and somehow one of them got on the internet. I think I just put it up there like, hey, as a joke. And I'm flying to the Atlanta Punchline, which was the first club I'd ever done out of the state of Florida. And I'm doing the off night. I'm featuring the whole weekend, but I'm headlining a charity show on a Wednesday or Thursday before the weekend. And
for the record, that charity was you. They were like, let's let Forrest headline a show.
Dude, I'm sitting at the bar and one of the owners comes up to me, owner/booker, and he goes, all right, so you're going to have to do like 30 to 40 clean, which, by the way, I might have had 25 minutes total at that point.
Right. Oh, yes.
Yeah. And so I was like, cool. Yeah, got that. A check. And then he goes, where's the ventriloquist dummy? And I go, what ventriloquist dummy? He goes, aren't you a ventriloquist? I go, no, I don't. And he shows me the picture that they've put on the website of me with a ventriloquist dummy with his jaw dislocated. And he goes, "That's what I told this charity you're going to be doing." I'm like, I do not know how to do.
Did you call your mom's ex-boyfriend and say, "Hey, I need you to FedEx that dummy"?
Dude, the show started. This is the show's already started. This is at the bar. Like, you got to do 40 clean with a ventriloquist dummy. I was like, I don't do that. That's not. And he goes, well, you gotta update your website. And now he's panicking. Whatever. Luckily, the person running the charity was hammered and just kept getting up there in between comics. There was like other comics on the show. They were like, get away, and just like stumbling around and stuff. And she took up all this time to the point where by the time I was ready to go up, he goes, "You only have to do 15. You can do whatever you want. Just do stand up. Don't worry about it." I was like, cool, because that's what I was doing anyway. So congratulations.
Yeah, the person that's complaining about clean is also the person that's been removed 20 minutes into the show due to drunk and disorderly behavior. So I don't think their arguments are going to stay. Just like, do whatever you want, say whatever you want. Oh, charity gigs, corporate gigs. Ugh.
Hard-nosed comedy with an edgy swagger. I don't even know what the hell that's.
I don't know. What am I, Jack Sparrow? On the hull of a ship telling jokes.
All right, we're getting in danger of this becoming a comedy podcast, which we don't want that. Who wants to laugh? It's terrible. Which still is a comedy podcast, by the way, but this is the first podcast of I've Got a Problem, Al. And there was an intro before this that you didn't hear where I called it a humorous addiction podcast because I feel like calling it a funny addiction podcast is disrespectful. Humorous is a word I never use, but it sounds more because I don't want people to think like I'm not making fun of addiction. Obviously, I'm an addict. I'm having people that are addicts on the show, and I don't want to do that. But I do believe that that we can laugh about things, and it helps to like break down walls and sometimes like ease people's tension so that it's it's more digestible.
It's interesting to me how we just all feel like we have to adopt like one way of handling things. Like some people, they cry and they scream, and like at a funeral, they fall on the floor, and funerals are awful. But other people, like the first person to kind of crack a joke, is like that's like for some people they get that first laugh. I don't know if I told you, the matriarch of my family, my grandmother, when she passed away, we were in the limo coming back from the funeral, plot. And it's taken us back to my mom's house in Cleveland, Ohio. Everybody in the limo is crying, and out of nowhere, my phone rings, and it's comedian Rachel Feinstein, and I just picked it up. I don't know why I picked it up, and before I could say, "Hey, I'm in the back of a limo crying with my aunts," her and this other black male comic were on speakerphone, and they were like, "Al, settle this argument. Does Rachel have a big butt for a white girl?" and like everybody is like crying, but it was like the first time where I was like, there's a world outside of this that exists that is full of my ridiculous friends and ridiculous things going on, and it kind of like
did people laugh in the limo?
Yeah, I definitely was like, who are my friends? And it did make me. I mean, I held it in, but it really like helped me understand that there is, as corny as it sounds, like, okay, that life goes on, and like, so you can deal. I don't know any other way to deal with trauma than with some type of humor, not the whole time, but like you gotta laugh that shit off, otherwise you just become Bill Belichick.
Yeah. When my mom had a great sense of humor, and when we got into an argument right before she passed away. We got into a lot of arguments, but it sounds really bad. 2 minutes before she died, we went on swinging. No, this was sometime before that, but she was really stressed out because it was an end of life scenario for her, and she knew she didn't have a lot longer, and she wanted everything to be done, like so that she didn't want to be a burden to anyone after she left, And then I said, "It's going to be fine, Mom." I said, "It's going to be fine." She goes, "Oh, yeah? What would you do if I died? Like right now?" I go, "Well, I'd call the police. You got to call the police." And then they call the doctor. And there's like a coroner comes. I mean, and she goes, "Oh, yeah, well, here's one thing. When you go to the funeral home, you don't even know how many death certificates to order." I go, "What?" Like, I'll figure that out. Who cares, you know? And she goes, all right, fine, blah, blah, blah. There's a long form and a short form. And I go, whatever. And this was part of the argument. So my mom passes away. I'm making arrangements for the funeral. I was filling this out online. They have an online form. And it said, how many short form and long form death certificates do you want to order? And that was it. And I was like, oh, shit. I was like, I don't know the answer to this. So I ordered 50 short form and 10 long form, right? By the way, you have to pay for these. These are not free. Like
What the hell is a
it's like
long form death certificate? What is
I'll tell everybody then in case people are going. Anyways, I show up to the funeral home, whatever, and she's just going over everything with me. And she goes, now, the death certificates, I don't think you're going to need 50 short form. And she goes, maybe you need 10 max short form and one or two long form. And I go, and it made me laugh.
She's
So I
like, we
started.
ordered 15 for Jimmy Carter.
I started laughing in her face, and she's just staring because people at funerals do not have senses of humor.
No.
It's not, and nor should they. They shouldn't just come in like, "Yo, what's up?"
We put the fun in funeral. Let's go. Shot, 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 shot.
But I told the story, and I was laughing, and she still didn't laugh. And I was like, "Anyways, just whatever you think." That's you need short forms to you need a long form to send to the Social Security office. Which don't worry, that'll be gone anyway soon. So you don't need to do. But and then
if we had a government, yes.
Yeah, and I think there's maybe one other scenario where you need a long form one. It's just a longer form, more detail. And then the short forms are like you send them to credit card companies, banks, stuff like that to prove that they've passed away. But they make copies of them. They make copies of them. You need like 2. Trust me, you don't need that many. So
yes. Dear Capital One, I have passed away again.
Yeah. All right, let's get into some addiction stuff. How about just talk a little bit about how addiction has affected your life, like where you're at now?
Well, I haven't had a drink since December 19th, 2019, which is kind of easy to remember. Yeah, I would say it's really like a breakup. You know, everybody goes like, yeah, me and this guy Forrest, we were together for 6 years, but really you were together for 4, and the last 2 years was just you guys kind of slowly breaking up.
Yeah.
Like that's really what it was with me with drinking. We had a fast and furious, because I didn't drink until late. Like I know a lot of people drank in high school. I did not. And then I went to a black college, and the reason that's important is um I did not going to a mainstream or majority white college that has frats and parties. Like black colleges weren't really drinky. Like when you would, I had maybe had a drink, but it was just like black colleges are just like you go to a party and you would come up to me, Forrest, and because you're my friend, I'd be like, okay, go upstairs in my closet underneath. There's a raincoat on the floor. There's a bottle of Crown Royal under that. There's plastic cups. Drink in the closet and come back down. Don't tell people that there's out. So like when I went to Brown for my last years of college, that's when almost like when Marty McFly, not Marty McFly, but like what's Michael J. Fox realized that he was a werewolf.
Yeah.
Like I going to a white college showed me like, oh, I'm good at this. Like I just like when an assassin has their memory wiped and they're like a kitchen wife, a housewife, and all of a sudden they throw a knife across the room and like kill a mouse or something. And they're like, where the fuck did I?
I think that's one specific movie, by the way. That's Long Kiss Goodnight. Is that what you're referencing?
With not Sandra Bullock. Who's the other one?
I don't remember. God, I can't remember her name right now.
Got the red hair.
Yeah, Curly.
Yes, but so like I realized that I liked partying. I had never really partied before, and as corny as that sounds, like I didn't drink in high school. Really didn't drink my first years of college, and then from college on through grad school, went to Miami, which was just like you might as well have, just given a box of dynamite to the coyote. Like there was no way that was gonna, and just like being in Miami at that time which was like the early 2000s. I enforced, I'm not telling you anything as somebody that has lived in South Florida his entire life mostly. It was as close to the Wild West as I will ever get. It was
Yeah.
my apartment complex, you know, maintenance men will be smoking blunts in the hallway. You know, the women in the office would just like flirt with you or just curse with you. I remember my roommate Greg, who you met, really cool dude. I think he's a firefighter now, and he literally had poop coming out of the faucet in the bathroom, and he politely told the woman in the office that, and she goes, "Well, what the fuck do you want me to do about that?" Like said it like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was it, but that wasn't like there was no Yelp. That was
No.
just how people would talk to each other pre-internet. So I fit
Well,
right.
especially in Florida. Yeah.
Yes, it's hard. It sounds like when old Negro League players embellish how good somebody was. They'd be like, "I'll tell you something about Fast Al Jackson. He hit a double and hit himself in the head coming around second base." Like, you know, like when you know that, like, but it really was that
Yeah.
crazy.
That's when I
And
met you too. This is when
yeah,
I met you. I want to. It was well when I started doing comedy. You're already doing comedy. I would say it was the end of 2004. Was the first time I did an open mic. I wasn't like I didn't dive into it until like 2005, 2006. But I met you at the Miami Improv, and I remember going there and watching you. You started the open mic, and you were already really good. And then Malik S was after you,
yeah.
who's was already really good. And I almost walked out then and there and was like, I'm not gonna do comedy. And then some horseshit guy got up there. I think it was that guy that used to be a waiter and just shit all over the stage. I go, oh, I can do this. So
Yeah.
I literally was about to walk out like, oh, I have no business being here.
You should
And then,
find that guy and credit him for saving your career.
yeah, yeah. But and then you came up to me and gave me like some words of encouragement of something. That's why I was saying, like you said something like, hey, it was funny, but I mean it was my first set, so it wasn't good, but I think you at least saw like, hey, blah blah blah, you should hang out and do some shows with me and these other guys and write, which was Oni and Adrian Mesa and
Yeah.
Carl Ramey and all these guys, Ronnie Cleo, of course, and stuff, and we did those writers groups and stuff too, and Neri Sign and stuff, and Tim Golden, our buddy. And anyways, and that gave me confidence because then as time grew on, I would see the shittier comics, and I was like, oh, thank God those guys didn't ask me to write. I would have already known like
Right.
to get out. So, but I drank a lot with you,
Yeah.
and I've never been a big drinker. You know, gambling's my thing. Gambling is my addiction. I'm not saying I you know, if we want to talk about my relationship to food, there's probably something there too. But alcohol. I mean, don't get me wrong. There was nights I went out and drank with you, and I've abused alcohol and I've abused drugs and stuff, but I've never had that same.
But you could always stop. You could always say,
Yeah,
"No, I don't need another one." Where I couldn't. I was just like, "Why would I not have another one? We're already drunk. We're having a good time.
yeah.
What are you gonna do? Go home and start to sober up on? Just fight it for another 20 minutes."
This is literally, I'm having flashbacks to what you were telling. You know, like, come on, you were like antagonizing, and I didn't feel that draw where I was like, oh yeah, of course, let's do this. I was just like, all right, Jesus Christ, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I don't think, it's funny, like when you're just hanging out with your friends, and I think probably the same thing for me with gambling and anybody that you have friends with addiction is like sometimes you don't realize, like you just might be like, oh, so and so drinks a lot, or so and so, does blow on the weekends or whatever, like, or someone's and gambles a lot, right? But you don't really realize that they have a problem until way down the line,
Yeah.
because yeah. And so I didn't, because when you told me you stopped drinking and you stopped, partying and stuff. And I was glad that you said that, but then I also felt bad in a way too, because I was like, oh, maybe I should have like said something before that. Because if you got to that point and I'm your friend, I should have realized that
No,
too.
I
But
think you tried to say something a few times, and I was like, "Shut up," and then that was the end. That was the end of the intervention.
yeah, it's like when people tell me with gambling whenever that they're like, hey, why don't you just stop? What are you bad at gambling? I'm very good at it. Trust me. I just do it
Yeah.
constantly. I won't stop. Um, if you could go back in time and have a conversation with the younger Al, like you're drinking now, you're sober Al, and you go back and you talk to drinking, partying Al and stuff, would you? What would you think? What do you think you could say to that person that without them, forget the fact you're talking to yourself now, that they wouldn't say exactly what you just said right now, like, like
I
get the
mean,
fuck
like,
out of
first of all, don't fuck what they're saying. Invest in crypto.
here.
uh,
Hop to a coin.
yeah, yeah. I would honestly, I would say, for as much as you won't believe me, you drinking all night does not matter to the people that you're drinking with at all. Like, I
Yeah,
always thought, like, we're all drinking, we're all hanging out, and I felt like I had to keep drinking to keep things fun for myself. But the idea that, like, if a girl thought that you were cute and she wanted to hang out with you, that wasn't depending on whether you kept drinking into a blackout, or the fact that, like, oh, you wanted to stay and hang out with this celebrity to get some more FaceTime with them. You don't need to drink to do that. And
yeah,
I would say to that Al, I think we both know that without drinking, this isn't that fun. And
yeah,
if I had just had that realistic conversation with myself right then, to just be like, this isn't that fun. I don't mind going home now, because when my friends start drinking, I'm like, hey, I'll stay for 20 minutes, high five, yeah, laugh, laugh, laugh. But then after 2 hours, no one's going to remember anything that happens. So you might as well go home and get some sleep, or write, or do something
yeah,
productive, as corny as it sounds, because it's the biggest waste of time that I could think of. It
yeah,
is the biggest that's what I think overall. What I always kick myself about is what I've been able to do in just these short 7 years without drinking. What could I have done if I hadn't wasted 70% of my time
yeah,
having conversations with people that won't remember them,
yeah,
and just like spending stupid money on things that you're eventually going to piss out.
yeah. I mean, every dollar that I have had come to me in my life, I have pretty much gambled away. Like in my life, like that's how it works. Sometimes there would be years of sobriety where I'm not doing that, but eventually I would get lazy. I wouldn't be doing the things I was supposed to be doing, the roadblocks I'd set up and things like that. And then it's gone. And the amount of time is insanity. Like the amount of time I spent, gambling on sports and watching, like, Hawaii versus Air Force at like 12:30 on a Saturday night,
Yeah.
like, or
Every
think,
time Hawaii's on, I think about you, as crazy as that is.
yeah,
Every single time.
casinos, like the amount of times I spent in casinos with just strangers. You're just sitting there next to somebody coughing on you the whole night, and you're just like, just living. Like, it's like your money's going away and stuff. It's just great. And then, yeah, and it's interesting you say that, because I know some people that aren't addicts, that, can have a drink, could go out and gamble, and they're like, $20 is a limit for me. I don't even know how that person operates like that, but fine. I'm I'm not saying not to do that. I don't think you're not saying to do that, but I do agree with your assessment of, like, all that stuff that you think is fun. Probably most of it isn't fun, and this is especially a good mindset for addicts to be in. If you just step back and like, this is not going to be fun, and then the time is really important thing. And I wanted to hit on that a lot with you, because is if you're an addict and you're trying to stay clean, sober, whatever, you got to fill your time. You got to fill your time with things that are productive. And you don't have to be like writing a novel, or, you know, like building a house or anything like that. It could just be like, hey, I'm going to go with my friend and go hiking, or I'm going to, go to the park and like have a sandwich on a bench or something, but just something that you are filling your time with, so that your brain isn't thinking like, oh, well, this, what I could fill this with, gambling, drugs, whatever, drinking. And you really took that to heart, like when you stopped drinking, to the
Well,
point where it was ridiculous, I would say. But I'm glad you did it. But
yeah.
just talk about that a little bit, I think.
Well, I think there was a lot of stuff that wanted to get out and felt suppressed because these
Yeah.
urges of all those like, man, I should do that. That just kind of get washed away with drinking. Once that was gone, it was like, wait a second, I can write a book. I can write a script. I can uh,
You wrote
learn
a
these
book?
things. Yes, I've written two. One
What?
is my children's book,
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Where is Baby Ford? It's based on the it's funny because you said Roblox, the video game Roblox that my kids used to play, and it serves a dual function of trying to get kids to go outside and play, and also
Mhm.
showing that kids that are at a nonverbal phase in their on their autism spectrum can still contribute to each and every scene even without speaking. And then my second book, which is all but done, I actually today I was going to call my mom to see if she's done reading it, but it's a book called The Thread, and it's adapted from a movie script that I wrote, and it's about the two kind of international tours that I went on with Hannibal, and the characters are fictionalized, but it's really like it's a weird pitch. It's like if Sex in the City met a comedy tour,
Mhm.
in that like it's black men talking about it's 100%, not 100, it's like 90% comedy, but it is dealing with men's relationships with each other, talking to each other about addiction, about difficult subjects,
Mhm. I didn't even know
kind of.
about this. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, you started editing. You started learning
Yes,
how to edit,
I started
and
making
then
music videos, and
yeah,
then I started making music.
at the beginning you made music and you made an album. You have at least one album that's on iTunes, and it's, I forget, it's a
Yes.
long name. What's the name of it again? The
uh Cadence is as a weapon is the name of it,
Yeah.
and I got that from a just when I hear a random quote that I like. I was watching the Rams game, and the announcer was saying that Stafford was using his cadence as a weapon to get the other team to jump off
Uh,
sides. That's where it came from.
but that's the name of the
Uh,
artist name, right? That's the artist name.
the name of my fake group is I May Block You,
Oh yeah, man,
and
Block. Yeah.
it's just it's just me using music production tools to make original music, and it's been lots of fun. I've had people come in and sing in my studio, the studio I'm in right
It's
now.
good.
So
Okay, I'll tell you right now. So when you started editing stuff, sometimes you put a clip on Instagram or something like that, and it was like you were in the beginning phases of learning how to edit. So sometimes you'd be like, "Hey, check this out! I did this," and I'd be like, "Yeah, I mean, that is editing that you did." I don't know.
you see, I
I don't.
cut and pasted.
I don't know if you're gonna win an Oscar for that, but but I was also just like, as an addict, I was like, no, I get what you're doing. You have to fill your time, and then as you start, learning how to edit videos, make music, write a book. Um, aren't you doing something with sneakers now too, right? Like,
Oh
aren't you?
yes, I make women's shoes now. uh,
With a laid back swagger.
Yeah, with a hard nosed. Yes, Nico and Jolie. You can go on Etsy and find them. I actually have to ship out 5 more pairs today, but they're selling. Who would have thought? I was learning how to make my own merch. Basically, a lot of what I do comes from the fact that I tried to pay people and they made it
Yeah,
impossible. And it's just like it's almost like if you see me redoing the roof on my house, it's because I tried to pay 3 people and it just
yeah.
blew up in my face. So I was like, give me the ladder. I'll go up there and kill myself. That's really what happened with the shoes. I was learning how to make my own merch and ended up making a pair of shoes people liked, as weird as that sounds. And from there, I kind of honed my skills. I didn't realize until I stopped drinking that I'm kind of crafty. I like most of the artwork in my house. I've made like
What about that tree behind you?
I did make my studio. I ordered
No, this light tree.
this fake tree. I'll show you one thing I did. What? Look at this. This isn't even something I display.
All right.
Hold on.
Yeah, we're holding on. That's what we're doing. Hey, the what was the other thing that the music is really good, by the way. The
Good. Thank you.
Because when you send it to me, when friends send you stuff and it's not like, if you sent me like a comedy clip, I'm like, well, this is gonna be funny. That was funny, whatever. When you sent me like, hey, listen to this, I was like, oh, okay, I hope this is good. And I was like, I was driving somewhere to a gig, and I was like, oh no, there's a couple tracks on there, like I really dig. I liked all of it, to be fair, but I really dig. And matter of fact, it's funny. I have a song that I can use that I own as the
Yeah.
theme song for this, but it's the only song that I own the rights to that's not. So I'll play it for you and see what. I don't know if it's the right song for this podcast, but if not, then I might ask to borrow one of your songs. We'll say.
Yeah.
What do you got here? What's this?
Oh, this is like I worked at a news station and they throw away like a bunch of
Yeah,
old
yeah.
equipment. So I took a bunch of old cameras and I bronzed them and painted them, and they're like now artwork in my house. This one's a functional lamp, like there's a light that goes on it.
Oh,
But
cool.
I'm becoming a crazy old inventor. But yeah,
How did
I
you
got a
bronze
bunch.
it?
Uh, just like you sand it down. You
And then
get
you
a
paint
bronzer
it?
paint, you put a lacquer on it, more bronzer, and then I got this cool kind of paint that looks like it's like sand coming out of the can.
Yeah,
Then you do that, and then I put another layer on it, and then put more lacquer on it, and then you paint it whatever color you want. But uh, spent a lot of time at
yeah.
Lowe's, and
Uh,
that's really what it comes down to. But you realize that you love to do all these things, and once the 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 weight of alcohol was off. I'm assuming I'm too much of a puss to have actually played football, but just like the feeling of taking your helmet and your shoulder pads off and just
yeah.
being like, oh, I can move around. I realized that I love to do all these things. Oh, and my new album, Low Moral Inventory, is
Wait a minute. Is it a different artist name?
no. That's the name of the album. It's still I May Unblock You,
Low
but
moral limit. It's the same kind of. It's like an EDM kind of. It's like electronic music, right? Like
yeah,
or hip hop kind of
yeah,
beats.
yeah,
Yeah,
probably hip hop. And trap beats with kind of like a melodic, like I even made these songs for my shoes, and my shoes have a western theme, so it's usually like a lazy lounge trap beat that I feel like I
yeah.
gravitate towards.
That's good.
And yeah, thank you, man. So
That this. By the way, there was a time when I had to teach you how to copy and paste on a computer. I just want to, and
yes.
you'd be like, "How do you copy and paste?" This was like in 2000. You were a teacher in the school system, and in the 2000s, I want to say this was like 2008 or nine, probably when you were doing this bio that we read. You were like, "How do you copy and paste?" And I was like, "Are you serious? Like you don't know? Like that's like my
You know what
mom knows how to
happened,
do
dude?
it."
That was the pandemic, and my ex and I did not get along. We'll leave it at that.
Oh,
And
I thought you
so
meant that was yeah. This is when you learned, yeah,
yeah, and
yeah.
so I stayed in the basement and I learned how to wire a studio and I learned how to edit audio and all these things that intimidated me. I was like, do you want to go upstairs and deal with that, or do you want to dig into garage band?
Here,
So
I'm gonna play this theme song. This is the one I have the rights to. Tell me what you think. From Addiction Podcast. But it's a humorous addiction podcast. Don't forget. I did not do this song. A person that I know did this song for another show, but we never used it. There we go. This is where it really kicks in. I'm trying to gauge by your face. Can you hear it?
yeah.
It's not going to change much other than that.
Oh, I thought it was gonna kick in. No,
No, there's only about 12 seconds left. Hey, this is for Shaw. I've got a problem. And it's not 2 + 2 = what?
that was you. This my honest reaction was that's the song that plays after Charlie Brown has come out to his family and it didn't go well.
Wait, it didn't go well? It sounds like it
Yeah,
went well.
he's just like walking away like I blew it. I
I
meant to tell my dad I love who I am inside. And he just like got his words mixed up. And his parents are like, we know you're gay. It doesn't matter. But he blows the whole thing. So
I feel like it did go well with that. That's the tone of that song. He told his mom like, "Hey, I'm gay." What are you gonna do? I'm never gonna get a woman with no hair anyways. Might as well.
Dude,
No,
it was good. Especially for the podcast, I think like just to start
I didn't write it.
No. It just started, and I have so many songs, dude. So like anything I'll send you some options, and they haven't been released, so they won't get like you have no idea. Because here's one thing I don't know how to do is stop myself from getting a copyright strike on myself for using my own effing music on my YouTube page.
Oh, so you try to put it on there and it says you can't use this?
Yeah, you get copyright. I'm like, Jesus.
I think you have to send something in, or I actually don't know. I don't know the answer to that. You're being to be surprised. I don't know the answer to a legal question. But I'm trying to pull up some of your music right here, but I may unblock you. Let's get here.
Should be on Spotify.
I think I have it in my Apple right here. Like, yeah. I think I can play it on here, or it's gonna play. It might play like here we go. It might play like not a lot of artists.
Oh, good.
Well, just at least on mine. Which one should I play? This is from your Haynes as a Weapon album. Which one?
I think Chutes and Ladders.
That one would work?
Yeah.
Oh, you probably want me to pull it in here, right? Can you hear that?
Yeah, I can hear.
It's not directly into the feed, but it's still good.
And
Al Jackson. This is what you could be doing. You're not drinking. Making beats. Who's this singing?
It's one of my friends came through and dropped some hooks.
Really?
Yeah. And in the middle of the song, the woman that does French is my co-host Tori.
By the way, that's not good for the addiction podcast. I think is better.
Yes, but I mean,
that's too sensual.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey guys, you an addict?
I have other ones too, but I had my friend Tori. You realize that you have a ton of talented people around you, so I just had her because she speaks like 3 languages fluently because she's super smart. So I was just like, I gave her my phone. I was like, can you just go say some sexy stuff in French into my voice memos? And she did it. And if you when you listen in the middle of that song, you'll hear it. But that song is about and one of the cool things is there's a very cool, very sweet anchor at 9 News where I used to work, and she came to my house and she filmed, like, I filmed my first music video. I didn't know what I was doing, but really what that song is about is like in the more successful you get, the less you're around people, the less you're around the people that you love. And so it's like, it's set that she has a successful husband, but she's successful as well. And a lot of times it kind of has to do with addiction. She's making sugar cookies. That's the name of the video. And she's making them almost in a manic manner because you just do a benign task, but you throw yourself into it because you're missing or you're wanting something so much. And I think it does have to do with like feeling a lack of control and then kind of overdoing it with something else. So yeah, it just really allowed me to just get into the different parts of like things I wanted to explore. I wish I was better at promoting and marketing. That's not one of my Thanos stones. I don't know how to do that, but
nobody knows that. There's like 5 people that know how to do that.
Yeah, and so I don't, it's just like one of those things where, it'd be nice if,
like comics, I mean.
Yeah, it's just we're not good at that. So
yeah,
I don't know.
There's comics that and I'm not going to get into names like that, but there's comedians that they're fine comics, but they just came from a background of business and marketing stuff, and they are huge now.
Right.
But they just knew that this is how you do, and I'm not shitting that at all. That's like a skill they had, and they used it to make a lot of money,
Yeah, it makes sense with business, because if you and I started a chocolate chip company, we wouldn't be like, in order to sell this, we have to make the best chocolate chip cookie that anybody's ever tasted on the planet.
Yeah.
You don't go into it like, I need to be the best comic. You're like, I need to sell this stupid chocolate chip cookie. And I think
by the way,
sell it different.
wherever the best tasting chocolate chip cookie is, man, that person isn't rich. That's
I
it's just
guarantee you it
it's
not.
just like a bakery in France or something. You know what I'm saying? That's just like, and do you know who's rich? Chips Ahoy, and those taste like fucking old cardboard. And you're like, but those are the ones that
That's
it's
the
just the
one you
marketing.
know, yeah. When you
Elves
taste
make them.
real chocolate, you're like, "Ugh, give me a Mars bar." It's,
Yeah,
you want the
yeah.
cheap stuff. Our palates are not refined enough to even know what the best chocolate chip cookie is. So there's a nugget in there for comics as well. Like, stop overthinking it and just get out there and sell it.
Yeah, but that's so. But just getting back to that too is like, so if you are like struggling with addiction, or you're just trying to get your shit together, now that is like big. And don't try to do too much at once, though. Too, you're not supposed to like fill up um your whole schedule. And again, I've said this at the beginning of the podcast. I'm not an expert. Al's not an expert. Whatever. This is all just kind of like use whatever things you need to use to stay sober and clean stuff. But I can tell you this for sure. Like if you don't fill up your calendar with things to do, and again, it doesn't have to be writing a novel or making music, you will go back and use again. Because that's just
Yeah.
whatever. What's that saying? The
I,
devils in the idle hands of the. What is
it's
that
a
one?
saying because it's true.
I don't even know what
It's
the
like
saying
all
is.
those old man sayings that you'd be like, my grandfather, there's a reason that, like, even just something like you can lead a horse to water, and you're like, what are you saying, old man? But it's like you look at all these situations where people have been placed in, all you got to do is just like fill this out, and like, yeah, your grandparents' house is yours. But if they won't do it, it doesn't
Yeah,
matter. And there is a point to like the
I
idle
got it.
hands of the devil's plaything. Like, I do think,
Workshop.
right, not only do you need to have your dance card full, but you need to have it full of stuff that you want to do. So
Yeah.
if you're at a party and you go, oh, this hot girl just offered me a shot and wants to smoke this blunt with me, and it's like, yes, she is very attractive, but you know what, dude, that sculptor is letting me use the studio for free tomorrow morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. And I really want to. I can't believe he shouldn't be letting me do that. So I want to be on my. There has to be something that you want to do more in that moment than just because if you are a person that's like, you don't have anything to do that Sunday, what is really going to stop you except some kind of abstract theory as to why you should not drink? Or maybe somebody telling you should not drink. But until you don't want to, until you're like, yeah, but if I drink, I'm not going to be able to have this cool experience. Like, or do something I want to do, it's going to be tough. So find something that you love. Find something that you've always wanted to just see if you were good at, or see what was up with that. Like,
Yep.
it's doable. And the question, why not you, should always ring in your brain. Like, other people make music, why can't I? Other people make clothing, why can't you? Go for it.
Yeah. I mean, you'll figure out but yeah, exactly. That's why there's so many comics that are addicts, I think, too. It's a lot of free time.
Yes. And I wonder,
Lot.
do you think that that's changed now that comics have podcasts to edit and B-roll to shoot? And
Um,
like, because I think if I was on the road right
yeah.
now,
Yeah, for sure. The
I would
successful
still
ones,
have
yeah.
so much stuff to do. Whereas, like, in 2011, you got off the road, you got off stage in Kansas City Friday night at 11:30. You don't have anything to do for 23 hours.
Yeah.
So,
Zoom meetings. Zoom meetings keep me busy.
right. I mean, they
Get
didn't really,
another.
I don't even know if Zoom was a big deal in 2011. So it's like,
Yeah.
now that you have all these, like, oh, I was going to go shoot some B-roll, or I'm doing some man on the street stuff, or I have I'm doing the What's Your Problem podcast, and then I've got this other, like, I think I would be overwhelmed with stuff to do, and so I wouldn't / couldn't drink because I had so much stuff. But I think a lot of it was just free time. And if you think about a lot of the comics that are no longer with us, or are with us in a diminished, like,
Yeah.
what's the word I'm looking for? No, not decapitated.
Diminished
Dic-
capacity.
yes, diminished capacity.
Diminished
Yeah,
decapitation.
yes. When you've been decapitated, you are diminished.
Yes.
You're
You're also diminished capacity as well.
yes.
I
It's
mean,
just
it's
like, I
all the
think they
same.
were just guys that were bored
Yeah.
and
What did you call my
lonely.
podcast, by the way? I know it's the first one. It's called I've Got a Problem. He's
Oh,
like,
not What's Your Problem? I thought this
yeah.
was a podcast about starting fistfights in Boston bars.
What's your problem?
You can check me out on the Fuck You Looking At podcast.
All right. Speaking of that, we're done. I'm done talking to you. I'll have you back on. I'll have you back on many times, but you know, we don't. I don't want to make this podcast fucking forever. So.
Well, you can't edit it, Dick.
I know, but I mean, we don't have to talk for 3 hours. It's
All
not the
right, I
Joe
didn't
Rogan
know. Excuse
experience.
me, I was just having a little Q&A with my buddy.
No, I've had fun.
It
I've had
sounds
fun.
like it. I've had fun. I said it, all right?
I promoted your goddamn music
What else do you want from me?
with a laid-back swagger.
That's the hard-nosed edge you're dealing with right now.
Anyways, Al Jackson can be seen on, I'm reading from your thing again, Tim, here, on Officially Amazing. And,
Wow.
Stupendously Awesome. Isn't that what I used to call that show?
No, that was the other Fox show I hosted called Awesome Adventures.
Awesome Adventures. So many people saw you on that. I would have friends text me all the time. I just saw Al on Awesome Adventure. I'm like, why are you watching Awesome Adventures? You're a 45-year-old man.
That show, the demo that it reached was not who, because there's just a lot of adults that are up at 7 a.m. on a Saturday for whatever reason. Yeah. And I don't know if I ever told you, I was this is when my dad was still alive. He dropped me off at the Atlanta airport where he used to live. And it was like 4:30 in the morning. Nothing on the planet was moving. It was pitch black. And I'm walking into the airport. And before I get to enter the airport, this gigantic older black, you know, like those guys that aren't even muscular, they just look like a bear.
Yeah.
Like they're just like bear, like a big human man. Yeah. And he like shook my hand, like, and it was like shaking hands with a baseball man. He goes, "Ain't you the dude that be going around the world with them kids?" That's a direct quote. And I was like, yeah. And he goes, "I really like that show, man." And it was like so warm and heartfelt. And like he was not the demo for this show. When I do think about that show quickly, I think about you yelling at me when I was in Jamaica and I was bitching about something like I always was. And you go, "Al, shut up. You're hosting a show that shows people what to do on vacation in Jamaica. I don't want to hear it."
Yeah.
I was like, all right, I see your angle.
You have somewhat of a point. There's some guy just roofing in Miami in August.
Forrest yelling at me on the guest phone in Jamaica 10 years ago.
Also, Al Jackson has appeared on Nick Cannon's Hatin'. Oh, no. What was Hatin'? I don't even remember that show.
That was back when those clip shows were king, bro.
Yeah.
That was where I got my job writing on Shaquille O'Neal's old show. Is I used to write those celebrity, you know, Renee Zellweger slipped at the red carpet, and then a comic would come on the side. Looks like she put the Z in something dumb.
Looks like Bridget Jones landed right on her diary.
Yeah. You write that in your diary, Bridget. Yeah.
Those it sucks to be famous once they got the clips and phones.
Yeah, then lesser entertainers take pot shots at you.
Yeah. Look at this A-list celebrity loser.
Yeah. Well, spilled some champagne in your limo, did you, dummy?
Yeah, who are you? And then also you won the Maxim magazine's Real Men of Comedy contest.
I won that, and
this bio is awesome, dude.
Dude, that's like crazy.
What did you get with that? Did you get a lifetime supply of Axe deodorant?
No, you know what I got? That was the first time I got a chance to open for Charlie Murphy and Joe Rogan at the Miami, at whatever theater there was down on Miami Beach, back at the beginning of the South Beach Comedy Festival.
Oh yeah.
Whatever theater that was. But
wait, it was Joe Rogan and Charlie Murphy was the lineup?
Yeah.
What a rando lineup that is.
That was
Charlie Murphy was huge then, yeah.
Charlie was huge, and he was just starting to learn. He had just kind of learned how to do well on stage.
Yeah.
You know, he made that transition.
Yeah, he got like famous from the Chappelle Show, and then they were like, "You should go on a stand-up tour." And I'm sure he was like, "I don't know how to do stand-up." Yeah. And they're like, "You'll figure it out," because there was a tour that was him, Donald Rawlings, and Bill Burr.
Yes.
So he was the headliner, Charles Murphy, but you know our buddy Bill and Donnell would be. they're better stand-ups than he was
Two of the
at that
two of the
point.
most
Yeah.
unfollowable comics
Yeah.
alive.
Yeah. And he had to
Easily.
close the show. The pressure would have been unreal, like,
Even you would have to be, I mean,
yeah.
you only maybe like, I
And that was that was like, not that Donnell, and obviously Donnell and Bill are still really good comics. I mean, Bill does arenas now, I'm not saying, but that was like the hungry phase of the hungry phase of two killers. And so,
yeah.
but Charlie Murphy was fun. Yeah, man. That's that one of the funniest clips ever is him yelling out during the taping of is it Raw or Delirious? You ever seen that clip?
No.
Oh, he's wearing the red suit, I think. So that's Delirious, right?
Yes, yeah.
And I'm pretty sure he recorded the Daughters of the American Revolution Hall in DC, because I did a gig with Jim Jeffries there, and it was like back, he did one of his specials, Raw or Delirious, there, and I was like, and it seems like such a regal place, and this is the Daughters of the American Revolutionary Hall. I'm like, this is where he did Delirious. But there's a clip you can go online. It was when Charlie Murphy died. They played it, like where he just takes a break, like during, like he's just walking on the stage, and he's like, and Eddie Murphy just takes a little beat, and some girl yells something out, and she's barely done heckling, where you just, because it sounds just like Eddie Murphy, so it sounds just like he's barely done talking, and just goes, "Shut up, bitch!" like really loud. And Eddie Murphy just folds over. The whole crowd loses.
And that was Charlie yelling that?
Yeah, it was Charlie yelling it, but it was like someone heckling him during the taping, and he was just like, he's just sitting there, as a brother would do, and be like, "What the fuck is going on?" Yeah, it's awesome. Even all right, I'll give you a real outro here. What are you up to now? I'll tell people where to find you and look for you.
You can follow me on Al Jackson IG. I have 2 podcasts going, so please support. One is with my girl Corinne, who's on Survivor. It's called My Safe Word Is More. And the second podcast is the reiteration of my daytime talk show that went for 7 seasons. It used to be called Daily Blast Live. Now it's called Daytime Talk After Dark. And you can check us out on Instagram or follow us on YouTube. Please like and subscribe, all that good stuff.
Those are good names, better than Daily Blast Live. I know Daily Blast Live was good to you guys, and it was like a 7-year run or something like that.
Yeah, it wasn't a great name.
But I used to make fun of that name too. I made fun of all the names of it was the same thing as you were doing with the A-list celebrities. I'm like, oh, my friend just got on another TV show. Let me make fun of it. She's like, what was the name of the segment you did on Daily Blast Live that I would?
Al Sounds Off.
What grinds my gears? That's what it was.
Such a dickhead.
Because what was the actual name of the segment?
Al Sounds
Off.
I
was Al Sounds Off, but I told you, I was like, you know what really grinds my gears?
Then they cut to some animation of like a trucker shifting transmission.
Yeah. All right. Well, follow Al on Instagram and listen to, go to iTunes right now, and you can download I May Unblock You, right? Isn't that what it's
Yes,
called?
that's right.
I May Unblock
Cadence
You.
is a Weapon.
Cadence is a Weapon is the album. He's got a new album coming out. He's doing a lot of stuff. That's the point. Got to be doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And I love that that you got sober, and I think saved your life. I'm sure you would agree.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Yeah.
And also are in your children's life, and
yes.
And yeah, and being productive and giving us dope beats
on top of everything.
With a laid back swagger, America. With a hard-nosed edge, with a laid back swagger. All right. Thanks, Al.
Hey, appreciate you.
That's the first podcast. Thanks for being here. That was Al. I just want to, you know what I want to say? I want to give you a little parting thought is, and I'll get into stuff deeper as these podcasts go, but if you're an addict and you're struggling with whatever it is, gambling, drugs, alcohol, food, sex, addiction, there's so many. It gets better. That's all I can tell you. I've lost everything in my life. I've lost, and I've lost that 2 to 3 times over. And I've still managed to, when I've stopped gambling, get back the things I've lost. It'll all come back to you. Money, people, respect, family. All that stuff can come back. Some of it takes longer than others, but it will come back. And as long as you're not doing whatever it is, as long as you're not drinking or snorting coke or gambling or whatever, it will come back. It might not come back as fast as you want it to. You might want it like right there. But give it time, and it will. You'll have everything in life that you want. And so there always is hope. That's why I want to tell people, because I've talked to some people that had lost everything and they felt like there was no hope. And I know it feels like that at that point, at that moment. But trust me, if you stop doing whatever it is that is fucking your life up, it will get better. It doesn't seem like it will, but it will. And I just want to give out a few bits of information to people. I'm not going to give out like all of the different 12-step meetings and treatment centers. There's a bazillions of that. And I'm not telling anybody how to do their recovery or to deal with their addiction. Some people like 12-step meetings. Some people don't like them. They think they're religious or they're cults or whatever. We're going to get into that in podcast and other episodes, but some people think a treatment center works. Some people think there's some sort of pharmacological ways that you can deal with it. Whatever works for you, do that. But I will say, if you're thinking about harming yourself, there are hotlines for that. And in the United States, all you have to do is dial 988. That's a crisis hotline. And there's someone on that line that is a professional that you can talk to, and they will help you. And if you're not in the United States, I know there's a Wikipedia page. It's called list of, I don't even want to say this word because then you get shadow banned or something like that, but it's a list of unalived crisis lines, or a list of crisis lines. We'll just say that. It's a Wikipedia page. List of blank crisis lines. I'm going to make sure it gets out there. You have to fill in the word that I'm saying. What could it be? And it has a list of crisis lines in every country. That's how you know we're all the same. From Algeria to Australia to Iceland to, Saudi Arabia, there's a crisis line that exists. So if you're feeling like there's no way out, think you're going to harm yourself, call somebody. 988 in this country. Go to Wikipedia and find the line in your country. This show has a number too. If you want to call and you want to just have a comment, or you got a question, or whatever you want to do, by all means, call up. I'll keep it anonymous. If you want me to say your name, I'll say your name. But otherwise, it's going to be anonymous. I'll just say so and so. I don't even have your name, so how am I going to have it? I have the number, so it's 305-563-7264 or 305-JOE-RANG. Those are the only words I could come up with. Joe, Joe, rang, like he called. So it doesn't make any sense for this show at all. It has nothing to do with anything with addiction to the show, but it's 305 Joe Rang. Joe Rang. Joe Rang? Sounds Joe Rang. Yo, did Joe call? Yeah, Joe Rang. No, that's not how the sentence would go. Yo, Joe rang earlier and said that didn't make sense, but you get it. Call up, leave me a message. Read it on the air if you want me to. Or not. If you just want to leave me a message, you want to say what up and you got something to tell me. Hey, you look really handsome today or whatever. When you were slouching over and your stupid hat was on with your hair sticking out, then tell me that. Also, please subscribe to the podcast, rate and comment. Please do that because that helps me, especially as a new podcast. I'm available on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. All the episodes will be up there in clips, and on all audio platforms that you listen to podcasts on. Apple Podcasts and Spotify, etc. My website is forrestshaw.net. Come out and see me do stand-up, please, if I'm near you. I have a monthly show. If you're in LA and visiting, I got a monthly show at the Improv. Maybe it'll be the time you're visiting and you can come out. We give away free prizes. Sometimes it's a drink. So if you're an alcoholic, we'll figure out something else for you. I'll give you some poker chips or something. And also, I am never going to do ads on this podcast. I'm not looking to make money off this podcast. If people come out and watch me do stand-up because they heard me on here, great, that's fine. But I'm never going to do ads. But if you would like to donate to help offset the costs of producing this podcast, I'm not going to say no to you. On forrestshaw.net, on my website, on the podcast page, not only can you see podcasts, episodes of this podcast and clips, there's a little donate button on there. I'll gladly take your donations, but you don't have to. You don't have to ever donate. You can listen to every single episode and never donate $1. I'll be absolutely cool with that. I'm not trying to make money off this. I just want to talk about addiction and laugh and have fun with my friends. And if someone gets a little bit of benefit out of that, awesome too. Anyways, thanks for being here for the Purse podcast. I'll talk to you next time. I should have some sort of sign off thing, shouldn't I? Oh, goodbye and good night. We'll just play the theme song. That's what we'll do. All right, later.